Hey guys, how you going? I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to come on and talk about have you seen the news? You know the Syria attack, the news reported a bombing in Syria. It was actually footage from a Kentucky gun range. That they have this thing every year, I think it's once or twice a year, where they all go, they shoot all this stuff and it just blows. I don't know what it's about exactly, but I've seen the footage and I've seen the gun range footage, and it's exactly, that's what it is. And also, a lady with a child. The child's like a floppy, in her arms, and she's running up with. Look at the kid's eyes. Kid's blinking. It's supposed to be a dead child, but the kid's blinking. It does. The child actually looks to me like it's been drugged. I don't know if you have a look at that. Please let me know your thoughts on that. What else is there? Oh, the housing in Australia. Jeez. Rents are high, really high. I pay, depending on how many weeks are in the month, if there's 4 weeks in the month, I pay $1,600 a month on a very limited income. So, I mean, I'm lucky because I'm right out of the city. I'm not anywhere near the city. Go to the city. It'll be double or triple that at least. Anyway, yeah, what was like a property that was worth $130,000 in 1998 is now worth around 700,000 or 800,000. And we're about to have a major crash because our housing prices never really went down, even in the 2008 crash that America had. Our housing prices pretty much stayed the same, kept going up. Now, they were worried a couple of weeks ago about a recession, and now that the banks have started stimulus, or whatever they call it, or they're trying to anyway, we've got our central bank who are passing on interest rate cuts, but our major four banks are not doing that. Nope, they're still getting as much out of the people as they can before they go down, because that's where they're going. And if you've got any savings in the bank, take it out now. Buy gold and silver or something, or hide the money. That's why in Australia, we've also just had limitations on how much cash you can have on you. $10,000, that's it. I believe the reason they've done this is because they don't want you taking money out of the banks. They don't want you taking your money out. If you've got a lot of money in there, doing it $10,000 a day is going to be really hard. Yeah, and the banks are about to collapse, and they can take your deposits as well, guys. Just want you to know that. I read that yesterday or the day before, that banks can take your deposits, not only your super, but your deposits. So your superannuation that you got in, for work, just don't rely on it, guys. I'm not sure it's actually going to be there in the end. And I don't know if your savings will either. There's two economies running side by side at the moment. One is sitting back, it's about to take over, but I don't know if that one is going to compensate for what the central banks have done to every country. They've pretty much looted every country. Charging interest on money they print out of thin air always is going to give the banks lots of profit. Not only that, the charges that you get from if you overdraw your account, you can actually get them back, ring the bank. I think they go back for 7 years or something. They can do so many years. At least a couple of years ago they could, because I rang and I got it done. I got them to reverse. If I went into like $1 debit in my bank, so if I overdrew by like $1, they would charge me $30 or $40 for that, $1. And so one day I rang them and they reimbursed me. It was about $200 in the end. Mind you, I'm on a very limited income, guys. So Any money at all that's taken from me hurts. So yeah, and the banks are about to collapse, guys. I don't know when it's exactly when it's going to happen, but it is going to happen. The banks at the moment are just trying desperately to hang on with everything they've got, and so is the media. Because the media, I know in America, your media corrupt. Your ABC just told a story that was a complete lie, which I think they do quite often, and so do ours. Same as England, same as Canada, everywhere, guys. All our media, don't listen to them. Because what I believe they're trying to do right now is to start a war so that they can then pull the economies. And they'll blame the war for it. And that's exactly what they've done in the past, and it's exactly what they would do again. And if the war didn't, they were going to make this one a beauty, by the way, guys. We're lucky Hillary didn't get in, because we would all be, I don't even know if we'd be here, to be honest. They were all going to go underground in their bases and bunkers and leave us out on top and start a war. Nuclear war. Every country would have been affected. And if the war didn't kill you, maybe the effects from that and then pulling the financial system down might. And that's what they were trying to do. This is the deep state. This is the people who run everything from behind the scenes, okay? And they're still in charge now. Unfortunately, they've still got little bits here and there that I believe the other side is working to try and loosen their grip. And it's taken 100 years to get here. So Trump's 2 years in office, or nearly 3 years now, is barely enough time to undo the damage they've done. So this is going to get crazy. You think it's crazy now? Wait, it's going to get worse. I was listening to another channel today, and they were talking about pig farms. I don't know if you know this, guys, but do you know pigs will eat anything? Okay? That's the reason why you call some people who might just eat, you might call them a pig, because they'll just about eat anything. Well, pigs really will eat anything, including remains. So, the way the deep state have got everything is that they have these things like a pig farm. They'll throw a big party and all these famous people and politicians, and they have a big band, a rock band, and they'll be playing. And in this party, there'll be a couple of sacrifices. Maybe just one, maybe more. If you wonder where all the missing people go and all missing kids and stuff, guys, I think we're going to find out. It was very disturbing for me to hear, but I've heard it before. I heard it years ago, and I've heard bits and pieces here and there again, that once they have done what they need to do with their sacrifices or whatever they're doing, they feed the remains to the pigs. So unless I know the farmer and how he treats his cattle, I don't think I'll ever be eating pork or bacon again. Because you don't know. And that might be why they found, look this up, guys, that might be why they found human DNA in pig meat, like pork. It's a very serious subject, guys, and I'm sitting here like playing with my hands, because it's just, guys, I'm lost for words. I really don't know what to say. Yeah, it's not the only thing they've been doing. When you look at Epstein, and everything's connected again, guys, from the banks to the pig farms to Epstein, to Nexium, to our politicians. How do you think they've blackmailed so many people for so long to do their bidding? It's very disgusting. So bad that I don't even know if governments are going to survive after this, guys, because when you find out what the highest levels in your government have been doing, I really don't know if we're ever going to come out of this the same again. I think government will be very minimal after this. And when you think about all the, like bureaucratic nonsense and waste of money, we have a position in Australia for a bloke to go round and, what was he doing? Potato farming. But he's a government bureaucrat. And he goes around and makes sure, he just goes around and tells everyone they're not allowed to grow more than this many kilos of potatoes. One man wanted to sell his potatoes privately and wasn't allowed to because he wasn't allowed to grow any more. You can get caught, if you get caught with 50 kilos or more of potatoes in your car, you can get in trouble. And this guy who is the bureaucrat gets $400,000 a year. For what? A potato bureaucrat. A potato bureaucrat. Then you've got all our licenses and licensing, and you've got to have the business license, and you've got to have your car license, and if you've got a trailer, you've got to have a trailer license and a boat license. Guys, you realise these are an yearly expense of a license to renew your license. That is, it's pretty much theft is what they're doing. And right down to local councils. If you look at your constitution, Australia has one too, local councils are illegitimate. And we shouldn't be paying them anything. But we do, because we want to live by the rules and do the right thing. But a lot of people don't know this. Taxation is theft. And I'm on a benefit, guys. So, I am telling you that taxation is theft. I am disabled, but there's so many people now, and people even coming from overseas, migrants who come over here. Apparently, if you're a white migrant, you need $1 million before you come here. But if you're Middle Eastern or from Somalia or anywhere like that, if you get over here, they will give you a house, a car, furniture, and you will get paid more than any Australian on benefits will. Australia's a pretty socialistic country, guys. We do have free Medicare, so free medical, but people are also taxed some people quite highly. And then you've got all the people on benefits, which is unemployed and single parents and people who are disabled and elderly. And it is a big drain on the system, guys. I don't know how they're going to go with this. I believe they need to send a lot of immigrants home to let them fix their own countries. And that would ease up on a lot of pressure on the system that you have now. Other than that, to be honest, I don't think it's going to last. I think the whole system's going to collapse. Governments will be either remade or pulled completely. I think there might be a minimal government. I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to be more just administrators rather than anyone leading anyone and telling people what to do. And when you think about that, then when they don't mandate vaccines and they don't mandate things that you have to go to school, you have to do this, you can homeschool here too. But from what I've heard, I know someone who does, and from what I've heard, they make it quite difficult. So this person that I know that does it is out in the middle of nowhere. so they have the right to homeschool their child. Also, he's autistic and he's quite like severely autistic, the poor kid. He doesn't talk and he's 6 or 7. So, sorry, I know too many people with children with autism. I have a friend who's got twins with autism and they're 16 and they're beautiful boys. I feel so sorry for them though. And they're quite severely autistic. Well, one's very severely autistic and the other one is slightly autistic, but even the slightly autistic, you can tell, and I just feel for them. I just feel for the families. I feel for my friend who, her boys are 16 and she's worried about if she passes away, what are they going to do? So yeah, I feel for a lot of people. I really, really do. But as I said, after this, guys, I don't know if governments are going to be able to survive after this. I know a lot of companies won't. I believe pharmaceutical giants will go down. Maybe pharmacists will still be around to do things, and there might be there'd have to be some sort of place that sells stuff for the pharmacist to make what he makes. Either that, or we're not going to have medicine at all. We're going to go back to natural medicines, which I actually believe is more likely and probably more beneficial. So yeah, guys, just hang on to your hats because this is going to get quite intense and it's going to be rough for a while until it's all sorted out. And in America, guys, I don't think it's just America either. I think the military all over the world, the good guys in the military, are going to start, the arrests will start soon, if they haven't already. So, and also the fire in California. The fires, I believe, were deliberately lit because I believe California wants the money because they're democratic and they want the money, the aid, But I saw footage of that fire where there was fire coming out of the manholes. I've never heard of a forest fire doing that before. Have you? And there is rumour that the underground bunkers that these people were going to go to and leave us all up here to face war, those bunkers, I believe, I don't know who's doing it, whether it's the deep state or the other side, but someone, I believe, is trying to blow them up. Or maybe not blow them up, but set them on fire. Because why is fire coming out of that? The manholes. Forest fires don't do that. Manholes are normally wet down the bottom from storm drain and runoff and stuff like that. So it'd be very hard to create a fire underground. Yeah. I believe the tunnels I believe they're trying to cover their own backsides, maybe, by trying to set fire to it, or maybe they're blowing it up deep, because it's so deep that you probably wouldn't feel it if they did. So because they were going to stay under there for 10, 20 years and let all of us struggle up here on our own in nuclear fallout. And they were going to come back out when it was safe and take over again. That was their plan. And bring in full-on socialism, communism, total control, it would have been. So, yeah, I think that's probably it for today. I just wanted a quick word and let you know that start watching news, but really watching news, guys. So when you see these reports of Syria or, dying dead people, anything the news is going to tell you at this point, I believe, will be lies. But you could pick up on it. If you watch the news, watch it closely. Be critical of it. Look at everything you can. Because you might just pick up something that tells you that's fake. It's a false story. And the mainstream news are the main ones leading the fake news. All anyone else is trying to do, people like me are trying to do, is get the truth out there, guys. As much as we can. Let people know what's going on. Because I have a lot of friends who have no idea, and I've been doing it for years on Facebook, trying to wake people up. A couple have, but there's still so many that have no idea what's going on. That's why I'm making these videos. Try and let people know what's happening. So anyway, guys, I will probably be back. I'm going to try and have a rest sometime this week. So you may not get a video from me for a day or two. I'm not sure. I just need a bit of a rest. But if I can, you know, as the news stories come out, I probably will make videos still. Knowing me. I can't help it. I enjoy doing this, so I hope you do too. Yeah, and that's me for today. I'll try and be back, as I said. If not, if you don't hear from me for a day or two, I'm just having a bit of a rest. Other than that, I'll be back as soon as I possibly can, and hopefully, and knowing me, I probably won't rest at all. I'll probably be back here tomorrow doing the same thing. Okay, guys, have a good one. Bye.